I'm on here today to simply tell somebody somewhere to do something in advance that's going to help their tomorrow. And that's the practice like you plan to play. You see, no team waits until game day to show up and then without rehearsal or practice and expect to be successful. It just doesn't happen that way. You have to be prepared to put the work in necessary in order to perform the way that you anticipate. If you fail to practice, you will play very poorly. This is a fact of life. The same thing applies for our personal and professional lives. Whatever it is that you desire to do, you're going to have to put the work in. You're going to have to grind in advance in order to perform the way that you need to when it's time for you to perform. An example of that would be law students practice law before they take the bar exam or ever get an opportunity to go into the courtroom to practice law. The same thing is true with medicine. The same thing in my profession. You had to do your clinical practicum, your internships before you could become a clinician. You can't just simply wake up one day and expect to perform at peak levels without being able to prove that you can perform. So whether you want to be an executive within your company, then you have to move like an executive prior to being promoted as such. If you have desires to be an entrepreneur, the only way that you're going to be an entrepreneur and be successful at it, you're going to have to master your craft. You're going to have to make sure that you're taking all the steps necessary in order to succeed at that level. This is just the way it goes. You cannot expect to roll out of bed one day and suddenly everything falls into place just because you prayed or wished that it would. That's a very noble thought, but that's just not realistic. So I want to help somebody by giving you this information to process. What is it that you would like to do that you're not currently practicing and putting yourself in position for? That's something that's within your control and that you can change. But you have to figure it out. Regardless of what it is that you want to do, you're going to have to put in the practice in order to be able to play in that role one day. You think any of these championship teams, they just woke up one morning, went out, played a game, and then they ultimately won the Super Bowl, the NBA championship, a World Series, college football, any of that stuff? Nah, it don't happen that way. I could always tell when the Georgia Bulldogs had put in the proper time with film, lifting, and doing all the things they need to do because them boys were dominant, especially over the last couple of years. And you saw those games if you pay attention to college football, and especially University of Georgia. But if you don't watch the University of Georgia, you have no business watching football at all. That's just the honest to God truth. I'm back now. So, but the point that I'm making is, you have to be ready to put in the work in order for it to work for you. You cannot take shortcuts. It doesn't go that way. And if you do take shortcuts, guess what it's going to show? So you can fluff your resume and your CV any way that you want to. But if you're provided the opportunity for that job and you can't perform, you're out of there. Just trying to share something with you for you to consider. So the message is simple. Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you're going to have to put in the work so that you can practice like you play. You see, I'm not a YouTuber, so I can get on here and I can say anything just off of one run. I don't have to practice for that. But then again, I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. I'm just trying to put out content to people to give fresh perspectives on something that may benefit them. And if it does benefit you, great. And if it doesn't, then hey, I didn't fail because there was no real expectation there. However, you know, what I will say, I guess I'm at the point now where I can start saying, subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? If you subscribe, cool. And if you don't, cool. But hopefully these videos and this content will make some kind of sense to you. So until the next time, be the very best version of yourself that you can be because you are the only person that you have to be your best for. All right, talk to you later.